Okay, folks. Yes.
And I have to record this for the Daily News. So.
Okay, go ahead. Hurry up. Sorry, it's raining. We'll be quick.
Hold on. You're going to record it, Mike? I'm going to do it until it comes.
Okay. Well,
Test the mic first.
testing 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Okay, good.
Okay. So thank you for being here. Now, everyone knows the Trump administration came up with this sort of ridiculous idea. HHS said that they were going to prioritize Santa Claus performers for COVID-19 vaccines. Give me a break. These are the Santas in the malls. First, with COVID, we shouldn't have any Santas with kids sitting on their laps or near them. But second, doctors, nurses, first responders, they're the people who should get the priority vaccines, not Santas sitting in the mall. And so the bottom line is this was so laughed at that the administration withdrew this ridiculous proposal. But now there's $250 million sitting there to be used to help fight COVID. It's just sitting there. Here's what we propose. The administration reach into their Christmas sack of the money they didn't spend on this ridiculous Santa idea and do PSAs that everyone should wear a face mask. We all know that face masks, that everyone should wear a face mask. We all know that face masks protect people. They're one of the best ways to stop COVID from spreading. We now have a record number of hospitalizations. COVID is on the increase in all but a few states. We must do more. Other countries that have had the population use face masks, other countries that have had the population use face masks have seen COVID reduced. But this administration is ridiculous in its macho view that face masks are the wrong thing to use. They don't listen to the scientists. They don't listen to Dr. Fauci. They just go ahead and put all of us in jeopardy. Donald Trump himself learned that using face masks was a good idea because he had the event when they brought Amy Coney Barrett to the Rose Garden. No one had face masks and huge numbers of people got COVID. So the bottom line is very simple. I love Santa Claus as much as the next guy. But if even single one of these vulnerable people would have had to wait for a vaccine because the Santas were getting it, it made no sense. So I'm glad they stopped that. But the bottom line is very simple. And that is launch a national wear a mask campaign using the $250 million that's sitting there and do it ASAP. We're in our second wave. We may, God forbid, get a third wave. We've got to do everything we can. And the simple idea of wearing a mask, the scientists tell us, is one of the best ways to stop the spread of COVID. Okay? Questions?
The stock market dive this morning on coronavirus fear.
Well, look, we've been waiting for the administration and particularly McConnell's Senate to pass a corona relief bill. We passed a very strong bill in the House. It takes care of New York's and New York City's governments. It takes care of mass transit. It takes care of testing. It takes care of opening schools and many other things. What's standing in the way is Donald Trump and most of all, McConnell's Senate, which doesn't want to do any bill at all. We're ready to do one ASAP. Well, there's lots of things we want to get done. We want to deal with COVID first, and we'll pass the big bill that's so good for New York. that passed the House. We will pass it in the Senate ASAP, and then we will move on, helping working families secure a better future, better education, dealing with climate, dealing with the restrictions on voting, dealing with so many different issues. If we get the majority, we're going to work very hard to have a big, bold, strong agenda that helps New York and helps average Americans, not just the people at the top.
Anything on the other 250 million?
Okay. The bottom line is that we first have to get the majority, because if we don't, nothing will happen. Once it does, our caucus will assemble, and everything is on the table. Thank you, everybody. And I'll take my wet remarks, which I didn't read.